Well, here we are at Indian River Park, and as you can see, not too many people are here. All right, we're gonna go right through there. Yep, something might be eating a plant. Or could it be a fly? No, what do flies eat? They eat all kinds of stuff. Mostly they eat dead, decaying organic material. But look what's going on over here. Something has eaten this. What is that something? Could be little daddy longleg. Daddy longlegs, I believe, are carnivorous, and so the plant eater ate a little piece of this pawpaw plant, and maybe some over here could have gotten eaten by that little guy right there. Oh, there he is. And then he could, the decaying parts of him. Oh, where did my little fly go? Did he got eaten by the fly? Ah, the cycle of life. Pawpaw fruit looks like this. Comes ripe in August. Now here's the real reason why lots of people come here. It's got a lot of really cool bike jumps. I love coming here. I don't really jump, but it is kind of cool. I've never been out here. I can see me as a teenager out here spending hours and hours just jumping, and I have a blast. And then there's a whole bunch of other trails that continue on. But hey, that's really not biology, is it? No, but it's still fun. Let's go down this little creek. Oh, check this out. Now that definitely is a raccoon. So what do raccoons eat? Raccoons eat pretty much everything. A little bit like us. A little omnivore action going on for sure. And even that, this is just, I don't know, it's just pretty. So I'm going to show you some pretty stuff. I just love moss. Mosses are pretty awesome. Yeah. Maybe I just don't get out, but yeah, it's just kind of pretty. Now, a couple of words of caution. Yeah, a lot of this grass, green is obviously plant material. Some of it's not so good for us, like this stuff right here. And as you can see, there is a lot of it. So poison ivy, poison oak, all sort of has this same 3-leaf, smooth. There's 1 leaf per petiole, and then there's 3 leaves per petiole. What's a petiole? So if you look at where the stem is attached to the leaves, that little thing that attaches the stem to the leaf, that's called a petiole. And this poison ivy has 3 leaves per petiole. Alright, so this is something to avoid. It's not as much fun to get as you think. Well, let's look at this plant. How many leaves per petiole is this? Well, here is that's the petiole, the thing that sticks on the stem. So that's a lot of, let's put it down so you can actually count it. You can't even count that, it's too many. So this is definitely not poison ivy, right? Oh, well here's one that has 1 leaf per petiole, all right? As you can see, it's attached to the stem, but it's only 1 leaf per petiole. So definitely not poison ivy. That's a maple. Hey, you can see how this stuff is just taken over. What did I say this was in the last video? English ivy. Yep. Man, look down there. Oh, look at a couple of squirrels. Oh, they came out to say hello. So squirrels, what do they eat? They are typically herbivores, known to eat insects. It's that whole idea that biomass, as it goes up the food chain, becomes less and less. And even the numbers of critters become less and less. Now, as we're walking along, let's have a look on either side of this trail. You're going to find that there's very little poison ivy. Maybe you're asking yourself, well, why would that be? Poison ivy really loves it when people disturb the soil. So typically, you know, if you find poison ivy, it's probably because that soil has been disturbed by people for one reason or another. All of these things are actually from Virginia. This right here, that's a grapevine, although you very rarely find grapes. We'll have to research that. This is like one of my favorite trees on the planet. This is one of the first trees I learned when I was, I've always been interested in this stuff, but this is sassafras. And you can see that it has some really unique leaves that look like a glove. Anyway, so it's real easy to identify. And you can actually make a tea that tastes like sassafras or root beer. Well, like all good things, everything has to come to an end. And you can see that this tree is being eaten by a decomposer, fungus. And at some point this tree is going to die, just like everything. And so it will go back into the ground so that it can be taken up by plants again. So, true cycle of life. Well, there's a little tree that's fallen down and it's being decomposed. As you can see what's growing out of it. Another tree. So all of those materials that this tree was, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, all those things, once they get recycled, can be taken up by another plant. And it just keeps going. Right, let's look at it. Ooh, I saw. Whoa. Okay. Let's see what we got in here. Yeah. I don't see very much, but you would expect to see lots of insects, lots of critters that are going to be eating it, right? Or let's go inside the leaf litter and see what we find. Sometimes if you just pull it apart and just stop and just look, sometimes you see stuff. Maybe not. Right? Here's a pretty decomposed tree. I wonder how many critters are eating it. Let's investigate. I mean, you can see that looks like woodpeckers have gotten a hold of this thing. So it's eating the insects that's eating the dead tree. Let's roll it over just a little bit. Alright, let's keep our eyes peeled. Oh yeah. Lots of little ants, carpenter ants probably. And a couple of other things in there, but you can see that it's, as it's eaten, it makes a little dust and goes back to then fungi or bacteria work on it, and then it can be taken up by another plant like this little pawpaw. So here's a place where this used to be, a year ago, a continuation of this forest. But last year I sold it, and now he's building, well, he got permits to build, and he's going to build apartment buildings. Well, yeah, I would predict that this right here is going to look somewhat different 1 or 2 years from now. It's going to change because what's the difference? I mean, he didn't disturb this over here, right? Well, maybe he did. When you cut out all the trees, what happens? You increase the amount of light coming to the forest floor. So we're going to have some type of growth. Could be poison ivy. That's almost what I'm predicting. I mean, look at the amount of light that's here versus all over here. Much darker. you know, the canopy really does absorb most of that light. What is this? What is that? Oh, somebody left a rock. Ah, that's actually kind of cool. Alright. So, this here is the project where they're going to build a new neighborhood. Now, all that water that will run off from that neighborhood, from the roofs, will end up in that big pond right there. That's called the Best Management Practice, or BMP. Now, as good as that's going to do, and it's probably going to do a pretty good job, it's never going to be as good as a water slow device, a slowing the water device, or a natural absorber like a forest. A forest is called a riparian zone, which is nothing more than just a buffer. Think of the rain falling down on the roof of it, or the canopy. Some of that water is never going to reach the ground. And if it does, that leaf litter, that thick, mushy leaf litter, it's like a sponge. And so it's going to absorb lots of that water. And what is that water going to, why is that important? Because it keeps the nutrients out of the water, in a sense, out of the Chesapeake Bay. So it doesn't cause that eutrophication, which leads to hypoxia, which leads to fish kill. So that's a reason why riparian zones or forests are much better at absorbing water than a BMP. But if you build something, and you'll notice all those BMPs are right next to a... Alright, this is that field again, just from a different perspective. And you can see this amount of water right here. A lot of little froggies, tadpoles. It's kind of hard to get to it. But anyway, what are they eating? Well, they're eating the algae. And they're eating the oh, look at that, the bird. Then they're eating the insects, and then they, in turn, are eating. So we got a little food web, food chain. More than one. I mean, a nice. Oh wow, look at that. So that is, as bad as the Japanese rose is, it really does look pretty, and it has a really wonderful smell to it. Invasive. Why are they invasive? Because they are at one time really cool looking. Or they smell great. So you can see the mushroom. They are decomposing that log, and they will return those nutrients right back to the soil. Well, here we are at the end and at the beginning. Get out here, get out somewhere, and enjoy what you've learned. And lots of you have probably seen this before. Well, here's the Indian River Park. We're done, and you can see this is what it looks like. We just went from the top all the way down here and all the way back up. That's what we did. Alright, these are some of the critters that are there. As you can see, we at least saw the remnants of a couple. Raccoon, and we saw some squirrels. Alrighty guys, see you later.